Today we're going to talk about uh, tokens. So, tokens is understanding tokens is extremely critical. This is the atomic unit of language of AI in NLP and LLMs. Uh, how we talk about it, and it's very important to understand because tokens defines again how good your LLM is being utilized. What is that you are paying for it, and what's the quality of output that you're getting. So what we will do is we're going to start understanding token and how one why understanding token is important, and then we're going to ultimately get to what you can do in terms of how understanding token helps in improving your prompt. So what are the things that you can take care while you are writing your prompts? So just let's get started. So if we start with token, right? So a token is like a Lego block of language, just one piece that helps build the full meaning, right? So the if I talk about a sentence like I'm learning AI, right? So it gets split into multiple tokens. So if I like I have shown here, it gets split into I am learning AI, and the stop at the end itself is a token because just like pictures, so we may be seeing pictures, but a computer breaks it down and understand pixels. So in the same way, AI don't see sentences; it sees the tokens. So why it is important to understand tokens, right, and how they work? Again, uh, token limit how much you can say. So AI doesn't read whole sentences; it reads tokens. If you send too much, uh, some of it gets cut, right? It's because there is a token limit and things like that. That's why it's easy. It's important to understand how text gets broken down into tokens by an LLM. Token decide how much you pay. You're built based on the number of tokens. So shorter messages cost less and respond faster. Tokens affect how well prompts work. Using fewer, clearer token helps the AI understand better and give smarter answers. Token control what the AI can remember. AI can remember a certain number of tokens at once. If you go over, older info is forgotten. Token help to fix weird AI behavior. Again, as I was saying, so when we debug a certain way that token is providing an response, or a token, not a token, but LLM provided a response, right? It's very important to understand like how it might have internally processed, right? So so that for that, unless we understand how the AI internally might have broken the prompt or the sentence that you have or the text that you have sent into tokens, it's very difficult to fix any way this AI is responding. So for that, we need to understand the tokens, right? So just to confirm, token is not words, right? Because that is something we might get confused to start with. Again, if we uh, talk about word, like the word examples that I have given here, the word may be unbelievable, but the tokens, if I can break it down into tokens, it can be unbelievable. This word is again broken down in three tokens, and that's how the LLM consumes this word, right? It consumes and processes and outputs too. So again, if we look at the GPT-4, right, it may be a single word for us, but again, the LLM, when it processes, it may break it down in tokens, GPT-4, each being a token, right? So again, the answer might be the question. Next question might be, why don't AI just use words, right? Because words are too messy for machines. Words are too unpredictable for machines to handle directly, right? So like some words are super short, like I or a. So this just takes up one letter, but they are full words in English. Machine kind of needs a unit that treats short and long thing consistently, right? So some words are too long for it, like unbelievable, right? This is again one word, but it's made of smaller parts. Unbelievable. The AI can understand better and generate text if it sees these parts separately. Again, some words have symbols like GPT-4, as I was talking, or email at the rate of work, which is again an email ID might be someone's email ID. These are clean words in the traditional sense. So the AI again needs to process and understand it, and needs to break them into parts it recognizes, right? So like as I was talking, GPT's dashboard, and to understand and respond properly. So, and some of these things are not like the way we talk, or the language that we use may not be in dictionaries at all, like LOL or gonna. So people use slang languages, typos, and make up terms all the time, right? So AI don't rely on a fixed dictionary. They rely on tokens to flexibly break into known chunks. Like for example, is take gonna, right? So which is a slang for going to. But a token based model says, oh, I've seen gonna, gone, and na before. I can work with that. It doesn't need the full word to be in the dictionary. It recognizes and processes familiar pieces, right? So tokens are like a universal language for AI. They break down text in a way that works for every language. So it handles symbols, slang, typos, and metaphors. Makes it easier to store, process, and respond efficiently. So we will go through few definitions again before going to the next part, because it is very important to understand these terms before we go into the next part. So one is the context window. The context window is the maximum number of tokens a language model like GPT-4 or Claude can see and use at once, right? And it includes our latest input, the model's own reply, past messages up to the token limit, and system level instructions. And I am sure again, so if I have to tell it in another way, it's a hidden system instructions. So it's, think of it, it's like the AI is reading frame or working memory. It can only look at a slice of the conversation that fits within this window. Like again, then if we have to talk about sliding window, right? So the sliding window is how the model manages long conversations. As more tokens are added, older ones slide out of the window to make space for the newer ones. This happens automatically and without warning. Okay, so if I have to give an analogy, like you can imagine the context window is fixed side whiteboard, right? So every new messages you're pushing the older ones, it pushes the older ones off the edge. So the whiteboard never grows; it just uh, slides forward. So as we were saying, why it's so important to understand tokens, right? These are the points, some of the things that we discussed earlier. Now, I will just try to explain these points, is why they matter and what we can do about those. The first point being token limits how much we can say, right? So, as I was saying, AI doesn't read full sentences, right? It reads tokens, which are small chunks of text like words, parts of words, or punctuations. Each model has a token limit. like 4,000, 16,000 or 128,000 tokens, which includes what you say, the AI's reply, hidden system messages, the recent messages from the same chat session. So when our conversation gets long, the AI doesn't remember everything. It looks at the most recent part of the chat and forgets older messages once the token limit is reached. This means long messages might be cut off or ignored. AI might forget past details even if you are in the same chat. You need to re-explain or repeat things, like, right? So bottom line is tokens control how much the AI can see at once, even in an ongoing chat. If our conversation messages gets too long, the model will quietly draw drop earlier parts and focus only what fit in its memory window. So understanding that what are the things that we can do, right? One is keep it short, right, and or split it up. Long inputs can get cut off silently. Break big documents into smaller chunks, like 1 2 pages and time, and send them step by step. Right? Again, put important stuffs first. The model reads from the top, right? So important info at the end may get ignored. So start your message with key instructions of the main question. Uh, Remind the AI as you go. It forgets earlier parts of the same conversation if it runs out of memory. Token limit. Add quick recaps, like a reminder, like this is about pricing strategy. So don't guess, repeat smartly. The AI won't tell you it forgot, but it might behave weirdly. Uh, do this. So when in doubt, repeat only the essential details to reground the model and trim the fluff, right? So you save money with fewer words. Like you are charged for 1,000 tokens. So longer prompts equal to higher cost plus slower replies. So cut the filler. Use clean, specific language and reusable prompt templates. Right, and we're going to talk more about at least the uh, last point more. Again, tokens decide how much we pay, right? So uh, we are charged per 1,000 tokens, so not per messages, words, or sentences. Billing is based purely on token count, and which is a combination of input and output that I was talking about. So longer prompts equal to higher cost. Even a word instruction like "Can you please help me out with?" adds unnecessary tokens. And long answers are also higher cost, right? So the more the AI writes, the more we pay, even if you don't need all that info. Repetitive prompts waste tokens. Repeating context or instructions in every prompt burns tokens without adding value. So token heavy chat adds up first, right? So if you are not careful, even a short chat session can run into thousands of tokens, especially with complex responses. So what are the things that we can do? So we should be concentrating on and shorter, cleaner prompts, right? So wordy or polite prompts, right? Burn tokens without adding any meaning, right? Like if I tell something like, I was wondering if you could please help me out to come up with some suggestions from improving our product strategy. So it looks like good prompt, it is not. So better is if you write something like suggest 3 ways to improve product strategy, right? So so cut the fluff, like be direct. The model does not need social niceties, right? Set output limits. um, So long unbounded answers cost more than often include unnecessary details. Right? Add specific instructions like keep it under like this is things you can add like keep it under 100 words, give three bullet points, respond in one sentence. So this makes the model focus. So keeps token use low and avoids bloated answers. Avoid repeating the same context again. Every time you restate, right? You restate the full background, you're paying for it again, and you clutter the model's memory. Like if you say that, remember we are working on a digital assistant for real estate listings that machines customer that matches customer needs to available properties. So this is a bad prompt, right? So rather, what you can say is refer back to the real estate assistant example. So that is a much better prompt. So one tip can be at the start of a session, right? Give a short description like project real estate assistant that matches properties to client needs. Then refer to it as the assistant later on. So it would understand that this is something that you're talking about, and that would keep the context everything within the context window, and the prompts also shorter, right? And use prompt templates. Okay, so rewriting similar prompts from scratch with tokens and times as you are reinventing the wheel each time. So if you are coming up with the best prompt, save them, right? So reuse them with so make small tweaks as you for the changes that you need, and keep them short, structured, and efficient, right? And summarize before continuing, right? So carrying forward long AI responses eats into the token window and drives up cost, right? So after a long output, ask summarize our previous responses in one line. Use that short version as a new anchor from there on, right? Then continue the conversation. This keeps the context light while still carrying over the meaning. So that's something I would suggest you do, right? So again, the next is a token effect. How will prompts work? I think that is something I think you are already convinced from the other points, but let's try to emphasize more. So cleaner prompts equal to clear thinking, right? So LLMs don't just guess; they analyze the structure and meaning of our prompts, token by token, right? If a prompt is bloated, vague, or repetitive, the model may misunderstand our intent, and it will get distracted by irrelevant details and give generic or inaccurate answers, right? So think of it like giving instructions to someone with limited focus, right? So the cleaner and shorter instructions are, they perform better. Fewer tokens equal to less confusion. Every extra token, right, add competitive load for the model. So if you keep rambling on like to in your prompts and without including which might then start including conflicting signals, it has to think harder and can get it wrong, right? So an example maybe someone might writing and I'm like I'm not entirely sure what to do, but maybe if you can help me brainstorm some stuff that might be useful for this task. This is not the way you should be writing prompts, right? Again, prompts should be specific and concise, like tell it that give me three ideas for this task, and that's how it works better, right? So the second one will always get better results even though it may be much shorter, right? So efficient prompts again add the better model behavior. Well-crafted prompts use the model's attention wisely. They point the model directly at the task, eliminate ambiguity, produce sharper, more useful outputs. So again, what are the things that we can do? And so a lot of these examples I am repeating, so hopefully that will be more etched in your memory, and that is emphasizing the importance of those points is again trim the fat, right? Remove those fillers which we use in our natural conversation. Prompts don't need those LLMs. I was wondering if would it be possible to maybe, can you please just, so don't write prompts like this. Keep only the action, right? It's like summarize this, list three benefits like this, right? Be specific, don't be vague. Help me, something like saying help me write something good is not, is how you are supposed to talk to LLM. So tell it, write a two-line product pitch for Gen Z buyers, right? So there is a much better prompt, much specific prompt for the LLM. Limit scope intentionally, right? Ask for bullet points instead of paragraphs, one line answer instead of open essays, right? Examples only, right? Not explanation. If you have to give them also, give it just particular example. It does not need an explanation most of the time. Use formatting to guide structure. Forms with clear structure, right? Example bullets, new number staves, help the model stay organized and focused. Okay, so tokens control what the AI can remember, and this is something we spoke about, right? When we are talking about the context window and the sliding window, right? So again, AI has a limited memory window. So if you go beyond it, things get forgotten. So AI, as I said, AI has a memory cap, right? Called the context, which we discussed, called the context window. So just we for us also, we can only remember a few things at once, right? So AI can only have get few things in mind, or and a limited number, and that is also based on tokens, right? It can be 8K, 16K, or up to 128K depending on the model. Token is a again, if the all of this thing is based on token, right? Was the once the token limit is hit, older stuff starts getting wiped out. So, uh, so AI does not remember if though you are in the same session, it does not remember from where you had started if it goes outside of the context window. So it's like what we discussed. It's like a sliding window, right? So if you have a 50 message in the start, it suddenly forgets what you said earlier. It is not being dumb or something. It's just it does not remember see that anymore. So, right. So what are the things you can do? Don't overload the AI with the long prompts, right? So avoid pasting entire PDFs or massive content unless it's absolutely necessary. Keep prompts clean and tight. Use summaries to preserve important info. Like when you hit a key milestone or idea, right? So just say that summarize the last three answers in one paragraph. Then you keep referring to the paragraph as you move on. Okay, so instead of repeating everything, right? So and re-inject key facts, right, to it, so that it does not forget, and it does not goes out of the context window. So if you're doing a long term conversation, remind the AI of your goal every space every critical turns or beyond a certain point each time, right? So bring back key facts. If you notice it is a drifting or forgotten, okay, you will get a feel of that, okay, and keep it reminding that this is what we these are things you should keep remembering before as we are having this conversation, right? So like for example, okay, like this is for a GenAI architecture summary for a CIO, right? So this is it knows, okay, this is was the ultimate objective for which you are having this conversation. Understand the session has limits. Okay, so even though a chat sometimes and chat feels like it has memory, right? It's just again don't forget that it's a working with a rolling window of tokens. Don't expect it to recall everything from 30 messages ago unless you reintroduce it. Okay, I think uh, that is something critical. So I think if we again get down to what you can do, right? Again, if I have to put something as a takeaway of the top five best practices which we can do, and that's why again, how understanding token, again, you appreciate the things that you are doing as a prompt, and that improves your prompt significantly, is be clear and direct, right? So avoid vague or polite language. It wastes token and confuses the AI. It does not need it. So limit scope with structure. Focus prompt gets sharper, more useful answers, right? And we have given you enough examples. Use output constraints. Tell the model how much to say, okay? Reducing both cost and load. Avoid repeating full context. Repeating background with tokens and clutters the model's memory, right? Reuse and adapt prompt templates. Save time, ensures clarity, and avoid reinventing every time, right? So hopefully, with that, you understand and appreciate tokens, and which is the building block of how all of the prompts work, and how LLM uh, construct and deconstructs language. And hopefully, with that understanding, and as you take this best practices forward, your prompt will also improve significantly. With that, best of luck and thanks a lot.